Hey, welcome back, guys. So let's get into this. We're going to take a little peek at a love tarot topic. We'll kind of just see. Actually, I think I want to start with this deck instead. I want to see what the energy is, what the vibe is coming out of this. Ooh, we have the temple. Okay, so there could be somebody, their spiritual practices, meditation, reflection, spiritual guidance in the realm of how someone's feeling in the context of love. They could be really connected to, this feeling of it's a sacred love. There's something really special about this. It could be very nice. This could be somebody sitting there being reflective, or this could be somebody asking for forgiveness or feeling like they're asking, to connect to the divine and say, like, what do I need to know about love? So this could go in a lot of different ways. Let me check one other first. Hi, guys. Good to see you all. Jeannie Vale, Fill in My Soul. Tina's just passing time. Nikki O, Cosmic Honey Mothership. Love your name. Luminous Marina. Love some Steph. Awesome to see you guys. Ooh, we have antisocial and daydreaming. Head in the clouds, delusions, hopes, dreams, silent treatment, left out. Okay, so hang on. This feels like somebody has either been isolating themselves too much, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, it can be a good thing to pull back into ourselves and, just like reconnect with ourselves, but not if it gives us musings of like loneliness or feeling of being alone and being, feelings of otherness, like I don't belong. We do have to stay connected. And I think one of the most important things is to realize, other people need us. Other people need our connection in life, and we need them. And we let each other down, like societally, if we just withdraw from society, because it's amazing. Like, you guys don't even know. For my own self, I can tell you point blank, there will be times where I've had a really awful day or a really stressful time, and I don't bring that onto the channel because this is like my escape. This is where I get to enjoy myself, right? But you guys don't know how much you lift me up. Also, how amazing. Like, I can't believe how lucky I am to have such a lovely collective of people. And it's like, I can't believe how wonderful, the internet can be. It's like, it's so cool. And there's so much kindness out there. And so, there's different ways that we need to stay connected, especially on our worst days, or the times when we really go through something tough. We may not want to share it. We may keep it to ourselves. But still, being around people that aren't a part of whatever has hurt you, that can be super uplifting. So we're starting out with this concept of what's going on for a character in the realm of love, and it looks like they have been withdrawn lately. Now, maybe they're working on coming out of that, though. Maybe that's why we have them in the temple. Maybe they're connecting more. So sorry, guys. Oh my God, Tina's just passing time. You angel. Thank you so much. Tina's just passing time, just gifted a membership to Jane Thing. Welcome, Jane Thing. Oh my God, that is the nicest thing ever. You are so sweet. Tina's just passing time. Thank you, babe. You are so amazing. Linda, it's my pleasure, babe. And Jane Thing, just so you know, that means you can now access any of the members' playlists and the members' videos. I add a new members video every Monday. And you'll definitely want to check that out, just because we do extra little things in the members corner that I don't want you to miss out on. Okay. So anyway, welcome, hun. So where does this put us? We have the Emperor. We have the Four of Pentacles. Okay. This could be a divine masculine who is withdrawn. This is a fantastic divine masculine, by the way. I hope he steps back out of his more quiet musings here, because definitely not only the world needs him, but we need some good masculines right about now. The world always needs good masculines, good feminines, like ethical, kind, balanced, fair individuals. And it can be a drag sometimes, if this is a really great person and maybe they haven't had a whole lot of the same given back to them, so maybe he's withdrawn a bit. there could be a reason that he's withdrawn. Let me ask, what's your story, Emperor? What's your story? Knight of Pentacles. He's been moving slow. Real slow. It could be Greek. I always look at this and it just always looks to me like he's doing like a Zorba the Greek kind of dance. Maybe it's a Kalamatiano or something, but we have a Seven of Swords. We have the Magician here, known as a Creatrix. Okay. In this story, he may have met somebody who seemed fantastic, and this feminine could have been a femme fatale. And he maybe has navigated that thought process and been like, it threw me for a loop. He could have met somebody who acted terrific and instead like cut him into shreds. And that could also be a head trip to wrap your head around. He may have even started to doubt whether or not he was an emperor because of the way he got treated by some none too kind feminine. And the reason I say this is she's wearing a mask. She's the Seven of Swords. And then we coupled it with the Magician, which can also be, somebody that's a trickster. And she's like submerged. So she could have been one of those. I think some of the most difficult people to identify as toxic are the ones that are really insidious. Like they find a way from this deep layer to like erode our self-confidence. And I'm wondering if he experienced that. And maybe that's why he's withdrawn for a while, just so he could pull himself back together, put the pieces of himself back together so he could see his self for what he actually is instead of what she maybe, dressed him down and, insulted or tore him to ribbons. This is a masculine who's been rebuilding himself, which fantastic that he's taken the time to do that. The only thing is, some of that we have to do ourselves. And then sometimes we also need like touchstones. We need other people that are really nice, that are really great, who will be like, what? Who said that about you? That's a bag of crap. You're fantastic. Maybe he needs some people, Sassy Kate, to come in and be like, are you kidding me? Who said that to you? No, they were dead wrong. That person, don't listen to them. We always need somebody who's going to like at least give it to us straight. I think he needed to first wrap his own head around whatever happened to him. This is a masculine who dealt with maybe like, somebody who was seemingly very sweet, and then instead very much, like a viper. I would say even here, she may have launched herself off of his, like, maybe this is somebody who he thought was real nice, but it turns out she was, literally stepping on him for her own like ladder climbing. She may have disappeared out of his life pretty quick. I would just say good riddance to her. Let that one go. May he move on swiftly. May he not leave this as, like not leave any skid marks on his heart over this. Like sometimes when people do things like that and then they disappear, that's the best thing they ever gave us, was their absence, So I'm hoping he can bounce back from this, but let's just see. Tina's just passing time, you sweetheart. Thank you again. Oh my God. Linda LL77, you are now also a member courtesy of Tina's Just Passing Time. Oh, baby, thank you so much, Tina. You are such a love. Thank you, sweetie. Unbelievably kind. And welcome, Linda. You are now a member, honey. Will he move on swiftly? He has a process. Okay, this is a super intelligent emperor, and this is somebody who is not destroyed. You notice he's not actually pissed and bitter. If anything, he's done maybe the more prudent thing, which is to withdraw. Even if he came across as antisocial, not very communicative to anybody for a while, he needed to withdraw, sort out in his own head fact from fiction, recognize maybe exactly what I said. If somebody had been a liar, if somebody had torn him to ribbons, he had to get to the point where he's like, yeah, I was her launch pad. But you know what? I'm glad, and I hope that it launched her really far out of my life. I'm glad you used me as a stepping stone, because at least you're somewhere out beyond my sphere at this point. It does feel like, so sorry. At this point, he may be in an energetic space of like, if he's contemplating anything right now, he may be asking himself, is this somebody who, does she have any regrets about me? Or he's asking himself, if I keep moving forward, do I meet somebody else that's a real match? Look, he is way too good to not have a match. He's a freaking emperor. Let's get him paired up with an empress. Let's get him somebody who he can build the empire with. 10 of Wands in the reverse. I don't see him ready for this yet, though. It does not look like he's ready. What are you thinking about with that 8 of Cups and the 2 of Cups? Oh, well, this is actually pretty nice. He's saying, I actually need to do a timeline jump. I actually have to not only get beyond what happened to me, which is what he's been working through already. He's like, I want to make sure that I'm super happy, and I'll be super clear. Like, I will never deal with somebody that is like some insidious little viper again. I won't deal with people like that again. There is somebody wonderful, but I know that there's wonderful partners up ahead. I know that there's somebody really special out there for me, but I have to do things totally different than what I have done to meet the right partner. So this is him setting his course, and he's consciously saying, I have to do things different if I'm going to meet the right kind of person. This, you know what? Maybe he's been like the equivalent of like a really powerful empath, somebody who wants to be this giver, this protector. Maybe he met somebody who totally manipulated him into thinking like, I mean, heck, she could have told him a whopper of a story about how she was always this poor put upon victim, and said she's actually the one who victimizes people, and takes them for what they're worth. He could have been, since he's this full of integrity and upstanding, he could have been the person who got played like a fiddle. Happens to all of us sometimes, right? And the nicer we are, the more we operate with some level of integrity. They can count on a person with integrity to do the right thing. So it's not that it means that this person is stupid or that they're an easy mark. It just means somebody that's good at being a viper and telling lies. They're like, I'm telling lies and I can trust them not to tell me lies. So I can understand what they're going to do and they'll have follow through. So I totally know what their next moves are because they told me point blank. They're easy to play because I can trust somebody that has integrity, that they'll follow through. So if I tell them a whopper and then they react in this, emperor's way, that makes me feel so secure. This is terrific, man. This is great. I'm not working on the honor system, but I know they are. It just feels like he's not going to change that about himself, but he is going to change how he views relationships. And I think it means that he has to not cease being an emperor or cease being a protector or a leader or any of these amazing attributes that define him. But he does need to choose somebody that makes him happy. I kind of wonder if he wasn't trying to save somebody. And she like fed him this line about how she needed saving. I don't know, whatever her lie was, she played a big role of something fake because she's wearing that mask. So I'm wondering if she appealed to the emperor in him. And he's like, yeah, I didn't even think, was I happy with her? I just knew she needed assistance. She needed care. So I gave her my protection. I gave her my love. I gave her, all these things. But was it love, or was I being an emperor for somebody else, giving them shelter, letting them into my empire? Maybe I need to consider a little bit more, who do I let in my empire? Do they make me happy? That I don't know that someone as like chivalrous and full of integrity would necessarily have felt like they're entitled to ask themselves, does this person make me happy before I let them into my heart or before I start overgiving to them? I think he now feels justified in doing that, and even like it's a necessity for him to operate that way moving forward so that he can weed out the people that are just wearing masks and are, going to be the vipers that'll take him for a ride. I think this is great. He's not down on the idea of love. In fact, he's more determined than ever that he has a better chance at finding it now, because he's adding in that one critical question, which is, look, I know I'm an emperor. I know I will love, protect, defend, support, and, be a great partner. But I want a partner that I actually enjoy as well, not just somebody that I tend to take care of. That's not what love is. That's not even what being an emperor is. Those are attributes, but an emperor also has a right to, think about what does the empire need as well? What does he need as well? So I think he's learning more about reciprocity. Certainly, that's what he wants in love. And he's also aware right now, in this very moment, he hasn't been quite ready. If he met the right person, he might not be 100% like steady yet in being ready for that, which is fine. I mean, there's no reason to rush in, but that explains why he's been withdrawn. He needed to be withdrawn. He needed to not date for a while. He needed to ask himself some of those really important questions internally so he can make sure that what he pursues this time will be, kind of like hitting the checklist of what he needs also. With that in mind, what does this mean for you? 5 of Wands in the reverse, Emperor in the reverse. This is so crazy because he is saying, I finally know I'm not the ogre. I know without a doubt. Somebody tried to tell me I was the ogre. They told me I was selfish. They told me I was all these things. That was bull. That was bull. That's the thing that he actually is an emperor upright, but somebody got him real twisted up in his head and made him feel like he wasn't allowed to ask for anything at all that he would want or that he would need or that his happiness wasn't supposed to matter. And I think he got called, a tyrant and this and that. And I think he's like, that's how she messed with my mind. Okay, now I see it. I can understand how he needed to first understand, how did I get played so bad? If you can't understand how something happened, especially when it's a mind game like this, when you got gaslit, when you were told you were the terrible one, when in fact she's the one using you as a stepping stone. She's the one wearing the mask and then gaslighting you and saying you're the ogre. I could understand why he had to first dismantle all of the gaslighting, see it for what it is, kind of rebuild himself, reassure himself, that wasn't me. I'm not the person who did this. So this is one of those stories where we have a masculine who had a horrendous ex. I mean, plain and simple. He had a horrendous ex. And he's still really great. It didn't make him bitter or sour. If we needed proof that he's a real emperor, it's the fact that we don't have any nasty cards on his side. We don't have him as a 7 of Swords. We don't have him, as a 5 of Swords. We don't have him as the devil. We don't have him doing or saying any of these things, even now when he might have a right to be really bitter or miserable or angry, and he's still not. He's still just trying to figure it out. To me, that right there is proof you're the good guy in this. That's actually really great to see that, this is the comeback story for a really good man. Man, I hope he meets some fantastic mate. No, we got a Queen of Wands. We got the 10 of Cups. Well, guess what? We've got the Queen of Wands could be somebody who is either already somehow her pheromones are in his life, or her voice is in his life, or her music is in his life. Maybe she's a musician. Maybe she just has a really beautiful voice. Maybe she sings. Here she's a flautist. So sorry, guys. Both of these images show us a little weaving, winding. In this case, it's, water. I'm picturing she may live in an area that has significant rainfall and maybe has little rivulets, not flooding exactly, but could have, little tributaries and seasonal creeks and things. Or somebody who's maybe outside of their house or something, gets, little rivulets of water running through their yard or something. But that has something to do with her. Maybe this is just that, the life that we live, sometimes we have to go through kind of interesting little channels to end up where we're supposed to be. There is something here about, I don't know if she has to do with something like that. Like I said, pheromones, or a wafting odor or wafting sound or something like that. But he is definitely going to be drawn directly toward her. There aren't other people in between this huge, epic flop that he had to endure and who he meets next, he has like basically a wonderful reward on the horizon, which is a really great Queen of Wands, somebody that he will be very attracted to, whatever his, whatever turns him on, she has that. Now, there could be something very unique about her. There could be something very unusual about her, a turn on he didn't know he was turned on by before. Something about her is like just so different than what he knew before. Maybe it's because there will be a lot of truth to her. And keep in mind, that's what was missing from the other person. She also, look, if you're sitting there playing music, you're offering the world something. I am stunned because I've taken lots of different like music lessons and I suck at all of it. And oh my God, guitar is so freaking painful. And I think, how do guitarists like play for hours? I mean, the calluses, the pain, it is agonizing, especially with steel strings on a guitar. It is so painful to play guitar. And I'm like, your hand hurts and your shoulder hurts. I mean, like the act of playing music, something that produces such beauty, is so freaking painful that I'm always like, it is such a gift that a musician gives of themselves. They're physically demanding, they're, using their art, their talent. They are doing something that literally is hard to do and exhausting, and they just give it to us, And it's like, I always give money to the street buskers because I'm like, man, that's an amazing thing to just give to my ears, and give to everybody's ears. And I feel like whatever it is that she gives, you notice the difference is she's not here to take anything from him. Unlike that person of the past, who I think set him up to tell him that you need to do these things for me. He was like this pillar of strength in this shelter, which she didn't need. She was using him, launching herself forward. The big contrast with this Queen of Wands is that the Queen of Wands isn't asking for nothing. She might actually be giving something because she's already self-secure. She's not out to manipulate anybody. She doesn't need anybody. If she wants somebody, that's different, but she'll be upfront about that too. This is probably the best queen he could encounter because she's going to be so much more forward with, oh, I like you. No, I always say what I like. Why would I hide what I want? She's our most self-assertive queen. I could understand why that would be such a refreshing matchup for him, and also really enticing, really sexy, and something very exotic that he has not met before. Somebody who's not asking him for stuff, but offering something which first and foremost is like the truth of how she feels. Very warm. We have an 8 of Cups, and you notice that we have smack dab in the middle, somewhere between crazy, wild ocean and really placid and calm, we have this yin yang symbol. This is the person that he has needed to move on. He even needed to go through that crappy experience that he had so that he could get to this relationship, so that he could meet somebody that is passionate and full of desire, but also, sweet and kind. He needed to go through a crappy situation in order to appreciate what a balanced partnership looks like. I think this is kind of like the Goldilocks, like she's going to be just right for him. We have her also as a Queen of Pentacles and a 7 of Pentacles. It's like over time, getting to know this Queen of Wands, he's also going to realize like there's a huge depth of feeling. There's somebody so secure. This is such a great person for an emperor to connect to. Somebody who has a long-term plan, somebody who builds, roots and builds empires of her own. This is an amazing match for him. She seems very independent, but also somebody who would make the greatest partner because she too would want to invest. Can I just ask, how soon do you meet her? Because I'm loving her for you. This sounds amazing. We have got a 10 of Swords and a 6 of Pentacles. The 10 of Swords is sideways. I mean, when I say how soon does this happen, we already saw him like knowing that he has to be more ready for this. And he's been, in the temple. He's been thinking about all of this. Part of me thinks he already has met her, but hasn't been able to gravitate toward her yet. This could be somebody who's already in his life, somebody he already respects, but didn't see her as like, sexy mama until he was done, having the wool pulled over his eyes by whomever that ex of his was. I almost think maybe they've done business together. Like almost in the back of his mind, he subconsciously, because we see the moon peeking out here through this empty little doorway. It's almost like in the back of his mind, he knew she was really attractive, but he didn't see her as a potential because he wasn't, again, an emperor who operates with huge integrity. It's like, well, there's beautiful people all around, but I'm with this other person, right? I'm committed to her. He doesn't know she's a viper at that point, but I was committed to somebody else. So I could see an attractive Queen of Wands. And in the back of my mind, I knew she was great, but I wasn't in the market. I think this is somebody who's already on his radar, has been for a long time, but he couldn't see her with those eyes of oh my God, she is so sexy. She makes me so happy to be around. I almost wonder if these two already have interactions, because this says they already are. And that's why I'm like, I don't get it. This is not somebody brand new to him. They already interact, but maybe working together. I don't know if somebody works at a casino or something. I just see the dice there. They could also work in the medical industry just because I see blood there. I'm also thinking insurance company. And this could be anything where, there's transference of funds. Maybe this is somebody who works at the bank. We have different items that have been used for the purpose of, commerce. We have beads, once upon a time before money. We traded other precious things and beads were among them. So this could be just somebody he's already had interactions with, sometimes monetarily, sometimes just in human exchanges, but she's not foreign to him. She's not somebody who he's never met before. She's somebody who's already familiar. The fact that I use the word foreign, maybe these two do come from a different cultural background, but there's nothing about her that is unfamiliar. I almost think this is a familiar person that he just never could have fallen in love with before because he wasn't allowing himself to even think about that because he was an emperor with integrity and was with somebody else. Now he's not, and I would just say the way he looks at her is very different all of a sudden. You know what? I like that also because she's coming in so much more vetted, and he's becoming aware of something he knew in his subconscious for a very long time, even if he never would have, brought this to the forefront of his mind. Can we just see? I want to see her perspective real quick. Hi, guys. Oh, Calm C. I'm so sorry you've been a cyclic migraine since late last week. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I hope my voice isn't contributing at all to your migraine, love. You poor baby. RS, this over here, this is all real. Yes, these are real items. Oh, I didn't turn on my plasma ball there. You can't see it up there anyway. Yes, everything here is real and touchable. So on her side, on the Queen of Wands side, we see a Page of Cups, a Nine of Coins, and a Six of Wands. If anything, there's a little spark. There's a little bit of emotion that she has for him. But for the most part, she comes across as single, super empowered, super grounded. And if anything, she thinks he's great. But I don't see her going down this road of oh my God, I've been wanting to know every detail of his life and I'm in love with him. No. This is just again, Queen of Wands tend to not necessarily pine for things that aren't, pining for them in return. A Queen of Wands might be oh yeah, he's super hot, but he's not giving me the look. So it's I don't waste a ton of time trying to get with people that aren't trying to get with me. But I mean, sure. Yeah. If he was single, yeah, he's hot. I think she's just more down to earth and grounded about it. But if we look closely, we see her also saying, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. We have a vibe, or we could have a vibe. Three of Cups to the Two of Cups. It's almost like she's already said, if things played out different, I could see the two of us being real compatible. Again, a Queen of Wands doesn't beat around the bush. She doesn't lie to herself. She can pretty much already tell who she could picture, like enjoying the company of, who she thinks there's a real vibe with and who there's not a real vibe with. The Queen of Wands can be pretty particular. They know themselves well. They know what they're attracted to. They know who's got it and who doesn't. So I'm not shocked that she's like super down to earth about it and being like, oh yeah, he's great. I mean, I'm single and I'm happy as things are. We have minimal interaction, but if things were different, yeah, I could see the two of us having a real good time. Like, it just feels like she knows there's many pathways our lives could take. He's one that she could picture taking and having success with, but I just don't see her gnashing her teeth, chomping at the bit. No, 9 of Cups, she's super happy. Everything here says she's super happy. So really nice energy, because she's not. I wouldn't expect a Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles to be, hyper stressed. I would picture her just being, like floating along and doing the life she needs to do for herself. And sure enough, that's where she's at. I like seeing that for her because it's much more peaceful. Let me ask, are you going to notice that he starts looking at you with a new set of eyeballs? Hanged Man and the Devil. It's weird because she's like, till somebody crosses that threshold with me, I don't waste my time thinking about what might happen. I don't rush people. He needs to approach when he feels like it, and definitely not before, because I'm nobody's rebound. So I just hope he doesn't approach me unless there's a real damn good reason that he's going to. So she's more in the mindset that she will keep things very much in the friend zone unless it's very overt. A Queen of Wands can think the world of somebody, but she never, like, even if she wants something, she has self-control to say, I can want something, but if I don't see that it's really ready to give me something in return that I would want, then I can't have it. If somebody only wants to come in and use me as a rebound, even if I think they're sexy and hot, if that's not what would be satisfying for me, then my answer is no, I won't be going down that road. Somebody has to approach me totally right. They have to show me that they're interested, and they have to show me that they're ready to give me something. And if that's real clear, then we could move forward. But until that day comes, oh gosh, I don't care how many longing looks they cast my way, nothing will happen until it's like very clear. I don't think this is her fearful. I think this is her having like, I'm definitely not anybody's like rebound. And I think in her mind, you need to be single longer before you try something with me. I think that's great, because you know what? That's exactly who he has been in this story. He has said, I think I know what I'm looking for, but I also know I need a little bit more time, because we had that 10 of Wands in the reverse. We saw him in the temple. We saw him withdrawn. We saw him, all of these things by design. It's nice to see somebody who's like, I need space and time before I jump into any new relationship, even with somebody that I'm like, wow, she's really amazing. I'm attracted to this Queen of Wands. I like the fact that he's not like jumping to go try to get with her. He's giving himself time as well to like cleanse his aura from the previous person's energy. It's not even so he heals. It's just so that there's some time that elapses, which I think is really nice to see. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much. You are so sweet. HASRVIM. Hi, babe. RS love. So good to see you. And Linda, is Dionysus asleep? Does he have kitties too? Linda, when I got these kittens for my mother, okay, and my brother promptly stole them away and said, mine. And so he took the little gray brother and sister, and I decided there was a kitten that was still unspoken for. So I went back to the woman and said, can I have a striped kitten too? Because I think Aries should have his own little brother or sister. So we got I called him Striper originally. His name has since become Indiana. So we got Indy, and I brought Indy home, and and they were just barely weaned kittens, and Indy was a little Spitfire who had Aries running to the opposite side of the house, and Aries was so upset. And I was like, I don't know that I can have, this little kitten that scares Aries. So I took Indy and reunited Indy. And let me tell you, it was like a midnight drive. It was like hours and hours because I didn't live near my family. And I brought Indy to the Grays. And so Fezzik and Cleo, by the way, is their names. And it was hilarious because it was so good for Indy anyway to be able to have his little siblings around him. But it was just pretty funny because now anytime Aries does get to see them, Indy and Aries get along the best. And so it's really cute because Indy bats at him and stuff. And I'm like, once upon a time you were petrified. We couldn't even keep Indy. So yeah, but they're all good. Everybody's good and they're growing good, but none of the kittens live with me. So so I don't see them all the time. Hi Jeannie, nice to see you, babe. Sweet. So wonderful to see you tonight. Jeannie, thank you. You're so generous. Thank you, love. Oh, AJSRVIM. Oh, sweetheart, your boy is 18 and took a fall. I'm so sorry. Your pup? I remember you said, AJSRVIM, you were waiting to hear some things back also on your pup. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Sending lots of love to you and your baby. Blue, it's wonderful to see you, love. Comsey, you're so nice. Wendy, so good to see you, babe. Oh my God, that's amazing. Luminous Marina, you have the dice tattooed behind your ear. It's like you carry good luck with you all the time. And Comsey, I hope that your poor little headache gets better. Well, it's not headache, a migraine. So much more intense, right? RS love, good. You get some good sleep after this. I'm going to call it a night after this too. I promised myself I would get a little bit more rest still, so I hopefully quit coughing at you guys. Tina's just passing time. Is there poor drainage in the town? Oh my gosh. RS love, is it 2 a.m. for you? Oh my God. I am so honored that you stayed up late. Shout out to you in New York, babe. Fallen Raven, Lucia, hi, honey. Empress Unicorn 111, Gabriela Ramondo. So awesome to see you. Tina's just passing time. You're so sweet. Celebrating everyone giving early Christmas presents. You are so generous. Thank you, my love. Raina Kamal, awesome to see you. You guys are on the same wavelength, Linda. Linda and Tina. Sheila Thomas, hi, sweetie. And again, Cosmic Honey Mothership, love your name so much. That's so awesome. And welcome, Jane Thing. Love some Steph. Thanks for being here tonight. Nikki O. Awesome to get a chance to hang out with you. Sending lots of love to your daughter too, honey. Feeling my soul. Always a delight. So good to see you. All right, you guys. I'm going to sign out and I will see you guys tomorrow. Denisa, hi, babe. In East Tennessee as well. Our AJSRVIM, I bet. Yeah, you guys are in totally different time zones than me. I am so incredibly touched that you guys are like hanging out with me when it's like the wee hours of the night for you. Oh my God, thank you. That means the world. Thank you so much. Sweet dreams, you guys. Awesome, Lucia. I'll see you tomorrow, hun. Thank you, sweet. Don't forget, we will still be going live on this channel and on the other for about 30 minutes every week. I'll do it on both channels. So that's still coming up this week as well, guys. But I'll try to make it a slightly more convenient time or a little bit earlier in the evening. Okay. I don't know that it'll be tomorrow. I might have to push it out another day or two so my lungs are settled, but I'll see you guys then and we'll do some storytellings. Lots of love, you guys. Bye for now.